Hi, I'm Amanda Redwine, the author of Billy's Bedtime Adventures, and I want to share our book with you. Billy's Bedtime Adventures. Billy had a problem. He didn't like to go to bed. It just wasn't fair. He missed everything when he had to go to bed. Sometimes he wasn't even tired. It just wasn't fair. Billy's mom had an idea. She suggested that Billy could use his imagination every night when he went to bed. Most of the day, Billy was too busy playing or at school. He just didn't have time to just lie still and let his imagination run wild. Billy agreed to try it out. The first night, Billy took his bath, brushed his teeth, and put his pajamas on. His mom tucked him in his bed, all cozy-rosy under the blankets. She kissed him goodnight and said, "I love you, my angel. Have a wonderful bedtime adventure." She closed the door quietly, and Billy was all alone in the dark. He could see everything in his room, even though his lights were off. His stuffed animal sat still in the corner. His solar system planets were hung from the ceiling and waved back and forth slightly in the breeze from his half-open window. The branches of the trees outside swayed, shaking their leaves in the wind. He could hear the leaves rustling and the crickets chirping. Every once in a while, a lightning bug would light up in the distance. Through the leaves, he could see the stars flickering in the night sky. Just then, Billy heard a slight sound outside his window, and the glass got all fogged up. Billy sat straight up in bed. Something was out there. Billy crept over to the window ever so slowly. He peeked out of the window and could not believe what he saw. Can you see Billy in the window? Outside his second-story window was a flying, two-humped camel. His jaw dropped. He knew there was no such thing as a flying, two-humped camel, and yet here was one, outside his window. Nobody was going to believe this. Then the unthinkable happened. The camel spoke to him. He very politely said, "Pardon me, I seem to have lost my way. I'm on my way to a carnival in Mexico City, and I've somehow gotten turned around." Billy almost couldn't speak. His throat was all closed up and his mouth went dry. He wasn't frightened, but what in the world do you say to a lost, talking, two-humped camel in the middle of the night? Billy cleared his throat and whispered, "Well, we're in Virginia. That's a long way from Mexico City." "Oh, no," said the camel. "I knew I should have taken that right turn into Topeka. All I did was stop for a snack of some darn delightful pickles, peaches, and pork rinds, and I must have been distracted." "Pickles, peaches, and pork rinds? Gross," said Billy. "Not really," said the camel. "I'm only eating foods this week that start with P. It's been so cool." "I'm Billy. What's your name?" the boy asked. "I'm Lumpy Jetstream, worldwide adventurer." "You mean you haven't heard of me before?" "I'm very famous in Idaho, you know. I ate my body weight in potatoes there just 2 days ago. They have just wonderful food there. Why, I ate mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, tater tots, French fries, potato pierogies. Reminds me, I'm rather famished. Got any peanuts or pumpernickel?" said Lumpy. "No, silly, this is my bedroom. I don't have any snacks in here." "But wait, we had pizza for dinner. Maybe there are leftovers," said Billy excitedly. "Well, if you've never seen a camel do a victory dance, you are missing out." Lumpy obviously loved pizza. His tail spun around just like a propeller on a plane. Drool hung like icicles from his lips and grew ever longer by the second. "I'll be right back. Don't leave, okay, Lumpy?" said Billy. Billy ran downstairs to the refrigerator and found the last slice of pizza with pepperoni on it. He brought it back and opened the window. Lumpy wolfed down the pizza, using the puff of his tail to wipe the crumbs and drool from his lips. "Now that's what I'm talking about," said Lumpy. "So, why are you going to Mexico City?" asked Billy. "Well, first of all," replied Lumpy, "I must try paella before Pea Week is over. My cousin Esmeralda says it's fantastic. After I get my fill of that, I plan to test out my brand new backwards, over the hump, down the tail ring toss technique. I've been practicing for weeks. They have a ring toss game that has never been won. Now that's a challenge Lumpy Jetstream can't resist," said the camel excitedly. "Say, Billy, I need a helper to perfect my toss. Do you think you could toss me the ring so I can catch it with my ear to start the trick? As you can see, I don't have thumbs. Makes life a little challenging without a friend to help. My last helper went off to boarding school in Alaska, and I can't be flying into that snowy claptrap nonsense all the time," said Lumpy. The camel lifted a hoof and showed it to Billy, frowning. "No traction, man. Makes for some scary landings. Think you could help me?" Now Billy had a big problem. There was no way Mom's going to let him jet off to Mexico City to a carnival on the back of a lost, talking, two-humped camel in the middle of the night. Then he remembered. This was his adventure in his imagination, and it was just beginning. Thanks for sharing the book with me.